What's up, Craig?
Hey, Will, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm great. I'm great. Although I'd be a lot better if I had some barbecue or some brisket right now.
But it's out. It's out of the smoker right now. Where are you located?
I'm in Waxhaw, North Carolina, just basically Charlotte.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my cousin lives down there.
Whereabouts?
Ballantrae?
Oh, Ballantyne.
Yeah,
Well,
I was close.
yeah, well, actually, I think there's a neighborhood called Ballantrae, and it's in the Ballantyne area. That's South Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, we're
Yeah.
right on the corner.
It's my business partner, Brian.
What's up,
Hello,
Brian? How you doing,
Brian.
man?
This is Will. Will and I go way back. We've known each other forever.
Awesome. It's
Oh, guys, thank y'all for doing this. This is awesome.
Thanks for having us. Ooh, nice lamp.
Christmas
yes,
food. Yes.
That's nice.
that is nice.
That is
Cheers.
my
Cheers.
favorite. Oh, well, cheers. You guys got beer there, huh? I'm still on the coffee.
Oh, what?
Cheers.
We're
Oh.
testing the lines. Testing the lines.
Yes, clearing out, cleaning.
Make sure they run well.
Well, guys, go ahead and do me a favor. Y'all introduce yourselves real quick.
I'm Craig Brown.
I'm Brian Harpster.
And we're with Smokey Dog BBQ in Utica, Ohio.
I love it. Love it. Well, congratulations, first of all, on opening, which I guess was, well, it's April now. So just last month, right?
About 3 weeks ago today.
3 weeks ago today. Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Happy anniversary.
We made it 3 weeks. Yay.
That's the first fourth part, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 It's
Well,
she.
Congrats on that. I know it took longer than anticipated. I think I read that y'all are supposed to open last fall, and that seems to be par for the course these days. It's amazing how long it takes to get things going nowadays. But congrats. How is it going so far?
It's going really well. We've been accepted by the community. We have a great staff. Jeez. Yeah. I'm blown away by our staffing ability.
Yeah. We went from worried we'd have nobody to having a bunch of people that really want to work and do a fantastic job too.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of people that, have the problem of not being able to find enough people to work. So glad to hear that. So I guess let's do this.
Boy.
Craig, how about you just tell me, I'd like each of y'all to just tell me your background and, why and when you originally got into hospitality. Take us
Oh,
back.
geez. I fell into hospitality. I mean, I'm not young, so it's been probably 30 some years ago.
Yeah.
I had a real job, corporate job in an office. I got downsized, and man, unfortunately, restaurants just in my blood, man. It's never the same thing. The same day, you never have the same day twice. You don't know what's going to happen. And I worked for corporate restaurants for one franchise for the last 12 years, and it got too corporate for me. And all of a sudden this opportunity came about, and thankfully got my buddy Brian. I mean, I could not have done this without his help. He's the technical guy. We bounce ideas off each other. We're idiots. We've come up with some crazy stuff to do. This guy came up with smoking spam sliders, selling like spam.
Selling like spam.
It's incredible. The hit that has come with it. And he and I did all the remodeling on the interior by ourselves, did everything ourselves. This building was a wreck and literally could not have done it without this guy. I gotta move that. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Brian, how about you? How'd you get into hospitality?
Well, I did. So I've only been in it for about 13 years. Before that, I worked for an aerospace company and power plant company. We did a bunch of stuff in it. And I was so good at sales, I became sales manager. Good enough at marketing, they made me marketing manager. Really good at quality assurance, I became quality assurance manager. And after about 8 years of doing 3 people's jobs, I kind of burned out on that and decided to open a bar. That's how I was coping. So I might as well just open a bar anyhow. So I ran a bar out in Delaware, Ohio for 13 years. And it's about the time that I opened the bar that I met Craig. And and then he was like, "Hey man, you want to go do something together?" And I thought it'd be a great idea. And Yeah, the same thing that Craig is saying is there's no way that this would have worked out, like me doing it on my own without Craig and the knowledge he has of restaurants and all that. I mean, my bar is it's basically a beer bar, 650 beers, 120 wines. And that's it. No food, potato chips, if you count that as food. But
Yeah, he's incredibly smart. Now we can't figure out a 45-degree angle.
Yeah,
on a saw,
yeah.
but he's really smart.
We're not carpenters.
It's so bad.
That's
Good enough.
good enough.
That's our motto here at Good Enough LLC Construction.
LLC. I love it, guys. I love it. Well, so when did y'all first start planning your place?
July.
August. Well, you might have started in July. I didn't get back from.
Oh, it was yeah, August. I knew the guy who bought the building. He wanted to do something, and I left my other job. Brian and I, this might surprise you, we ride bikes together all over the place, and we met at a bar on a Tuesday because that's what we do at lunch. And I told him about what was going on. I was thinking about doing it, wasn't sure, and he came up here, looked at the building with me, and he goes, "This place is a dump. Let's do it."
That's pretty much it. We didn't realize how much of a dump, but it was
Oh, it was bad. We had to tear up floors. Plumbing was bad. Everything was bad.
Yeah, we had to replumbed the whole building.
Yeah.
Did y'all buy the building?
No, we don't own it. The guy who owns the building is the one who brought me in. Sucker me in.
Where is your town? Where are you? What city are y'all near? A big city?
25 miles northeast of Columbus.
I mean, where were you before this, Craig? Were you in Columbus?
I was.
Okay. Because I know, because
Yeah,
the company you were with wouldn't have been up where y'all are now.
No. They had 3 locations in Columbus, and we lost one due to COVID. And it got to be overbearing with the corporate stuff going on, and I was like, I'm too old for this. I tried to get out of the restaurant business. Sucked me back in.
Sucked you back in. Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in.
Yeah, I mean, my first job was in barbecue. I was 14 years old. I'm not going to mention the company. The awesome place, still around in a small town in Alabama, paid me under the table to be a busboy. Fell in love with it, man. And it's just, I've been in 3 different barbecue places, and I was like, there's no good barbecue joints around here. There's nothing around us. Like, to reiterate, I'm overwhelmed by the number of people we got to come work for us up here in this tiny, it's a wonderful town. It's very, very small, but it's awesome. Really good people here.
Well, so, I mean, this happened pretty fast then. You guys started planning it last summer and had planned to open in the fall. You opened in March. But that came together pretty fast. Was it like when you sit down to plan something like this with all the experience y'all both have in the business, do you do a thorough business plan, or is it, I mean, they look at you.
We had a legal pad. We would bounce ideas off each other. Beers and we changed there have been many, many nights we're texting each other and be like, dude, what if we did this? Or what if we're still doing that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've smoked ice cubes to put in our bourbon, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. I read that in that article. I was going to ask you about that. How do you smoke ice cubes?
Well, I don't want to give away trade secrets here, but silicone ice tray, put bottled water in it, run it in the smoker, really low temp I think I've done it for about an hour is what we decided to settle on.
Yeah.
Then freeze them.
Love it. That's fantastic, guys. So were you still with, when did you leave your previous company?
End of July.
Okay. So you were there and then you left to do this. So, that's a big leap. I mean, you'd been there for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, it couldn't have happened at a better time. It was a mutual thing because I was running all 3 of their locations. They were down to 2. They didn't need me to just run 2. They just wanted me to be a GM at 1. And I'm past that point in my career. And it was a mutual thing. And to be honest, they basically couldn't afford to pay me. And we had that meeting I got a phone call from the building owner here on a Monday, had that meeting with the owner on a Tuesday. I started demolition that Monday.
Really?
Yeah. Well, a week from that one, 2 weeks after that, about 10 days.
Brian, I'm fascinated with the fact that you were good in sales and marketing, which would be sort of maybe more up my alley, and then but then quality control too. Like that's a pretty diverse set of skills, man. I can't imagine being able to handle all that stuff. That's using both sides of your brain, man.
Yeah, well, it was the company I worked for was pretty cool in what they did. They specialized in some real high tech stuff for the space station, and we were on every space shuttle flight. We built the air revitalization system for the space station. We were supposed to have just built a component, but they were having all kinds of fitment problems, and we solved all that for them. So Lockheed just gave us the contract to build the entire system, like all the different components coming in. And I don't know where I was going. Oh, so where was I? I know exactly. So it was neat, but it was a tiny company. It was 7 people, and we won a no, I'm sorry, it's 20 people. 7 is my bar. So we had 21 people, and we won an award for Supplier of the Year to Boeing or to NASA. So it was us.
Dang.
With 21 people, Boeing with 100,000 people, and Khrushchev, which is basically Russia's counterpart to Boeing. So yeah, so there just only 3 companies won that award. So it was pretty sweet, and that's the type of stuff we did. But with only 21 people, you wear a lot of hats doing that. So
It's really impressive.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
Damn. I don't know you at all.
I know you do. I don't think you do. I even have a poster for it. Yeah, thanks.
That hurts my feeling a little bit.
When is so when you're smoking barbecue, that's got to be overnight or early. You must have an early morning start. You're working late, or what's your day look like?
The brisket and the pork shoulders go in at 4 p.m. I'm here at 6 a.m. to take those out. Ribs go in for 3 hours, then the chicken for 2 hours. The wings go in for an hour with the chicken, and then we do fresh jalapenos filled with cream cheese, wrapped with bacon. Brilliant idea. That's the 2 of us working on that, and we had to test all this stuff to make it right. I mean, you could smoke it and be like, "Hey, that's great for at home," but how do you mass produce it? But then we have to go. I do my mom's recipe for apple crisp, handed down, but I smoke the apples for it. And so I put all the vegetables in the smoker by themselves, so you don't get drippings or anything on there while they're smoking. And my mama was in here a couple weeks ago and had it. She's like, "That's your recipe now. That's phenomenal." Kind of wanted to cry, but I don't cry in front of people.
Oh man, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, special moment.
I heard the sniffle.
Does your mom live
My mom lives in West Virginia. She's about 2 hours away.
about 2 hours away? Okay, are you from West Virginia?
I am not. My parents retired there when they got done with their professional career. I mean, I've lived everywhere. I've been in Ohio for about 15 years, came from Alabama up here. Lost my father. Actually, Brian and I both lost our fathers within a few months of each other. And, that's something else we were doing while we're doing construction, because my dad was an engineer. His dad was an engineer. We're like, you realize they're just laughing their asses off at us.
Watching us trying to
we can't figure this out.
Trying to get your 45-degree angle. Hey,
The miter saw didn't move, so we had to flip it over and figure it out, and we just gave up and went and bought a new saw.
Yeah, right. Radial saw.
Yeah, radial saw.
so y'all did all this work there yourselves?
Yeah, well, not the plumbing, because you had to have permits and all that stuff and be inspected, but all the construction. And I mean, it's hilarious. We'd be in the middle of doing something, and I'm like, one of us would be like, "Well, what if we did this? What if we did this?" It's like, well, hell, let's try it. Let's see what happens. There was no business plan would have been a good idea. Where were you 6 months ago? That would have been brilliant. We would have changed.
Well, I always wonder about that. I feel like especially starting in a new location, new place, new concept. I mean, so much of planning is just guessing. No, I love it, guys. I love the way y'all built this thing. This is and doing all that work yourselves saves ridiculous amount of money. So you don't come into it with some big debt burden. So tell me about your team. That's the first thing you mentioned is how many great people you have. How did y'all get so many good people to come work for you? I
mean, the kitchen was just sheer luck. I had 3 employees about a month before we wanted to open
Yeah.
in the kitchen. We did a Facebook post on it. And within a week, I mean, I had the girl that I promoted to kitchen manager within a week. That's how she busted her ass. She killed it. I mean, I had these people, they were working 70 hours a week and nobody complained. The kitchen's getting murdered. No one complained about anything. So I got to sign a check real quick. There were no complaints at all. I mean, I'm putting in the hours with them. Unreal. She was up visiting her grandmother from Florida, lived in Florida, happened to come by. I hired her. She drove to Florida, packed up her stuff, and came back up here with her husband. They both work here.
Yeah. After she was done, her husband came in and interviewed.
I was just about to ask you, is this like small town Midwestern work ethic, or where are we getting this from? Because you don't hear.
She's from Kentucky, but 90% of my people are within a 10-mile radius of this place. Their work ethic's unmatched. They kill it. They know everybody. Everyone knows everyone in this town. And to be honest, if you interview with Brian and I, it's a hilarious experience, and you have to work for us because we're so much fun.
Yes, there's no reason that you would not want to come work here.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? The biggest problem is we might have too many employees. Like, we're trying to keep people happy with their schedule, getting the hours that they want, working around their availability. I think we're the only place that hires high schoolers here. So we have 20 high school kids.
It's amazing. The last company, I couldn't get enough hosts. I have so many here and they kill it. I'm so proud of everybody at this place.
Yeah, we had a soft opening that turned into more of a stress test. There's several issues, people staying much longer than they're supposed to.
Half the town just walked in.
Yeah, groups of 5 bringing 15 with them.
Yeah.
And then people just sneaking in the doors and stuff, and not a single person, not a single employee freaked out, lost their, I mean, man, we had our POS system was at the time POS. So I had a lot of work to do after that night to get that working properly.
But that's why you do a soft opening. We learn the process, and we have had, only problem we got, I can't smoke enough meat to keep up.
Yeah.
We run out of stuff every night. But if you run a good barbecue joint,
You run out every night.
you want to run out every night.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. No, that's a great thing. You get some supply and demand stuff. People are like, they want to be there because they want to get there before you run out.
I had a table late last night, and the guy's like, man, I've been hearing nothing but great things about your brisket. And I said, well, I've got good news and bad news. It's phenomenal. And it ran out 20 minutes ago. You got to get here before 8 o'clock, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we see our bump about 7.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing wrong at all with creating a sense of scarcity. Not that you're doing that deliberately. It's just part of what happens. But I mean, that's a good thing. That's certainly a good thing. That drives people to want to come in the doors. Well, so it's interesting. Like, I've always felt like it's such an important thing for kids, teenagers to work in restaurants. I've got 3 kids. My daughter's 19, my son's 16. My daughter's working in a restaurant right now. My son worked in one last summer. He'll do it again this summer. Independent restaurants, I think, is such an important thing, because not only do you get all the stuff that comes along with working in a restaurant, which I think is really valuable, like transferable skills, when you can, like you're talking about these kids being able to handle, all the stress and not freaking things that you learn in a restaurant. And if you can handle a busy night in a restaurant when everything is just jacked up and going crazy, then you can handle almost any other job. But then when you work for an independent restaurant, the additional benefit is you get to work for folks like y'all. I mean, I'm like, dude, I would love for my kids to work for y'all. You just seem like fun guys, and I bet it's a great atmosphere, and you're working for the owner. You're not working for somebody who works for somebody who works for somebody who's 10 states away. I mean, the money people spend in your restaurant stays local. It's, it's a cool cycle. So I can imagine people would, I'm glad that y'all are able to attract good people like that. And I wish y'all were near here. I'd like for my kids to work for you.
Well, it's funny. I've had the older folks in the kitchen have worked, not older, they're still way younger than me. They're in their 30s. They work for other people, independent places. Like, you're the first owners that are always here.
Yeah.
But I'm almost too type A personality, and I'm learning to give up some stuff to people. Like Brian and I, when we started this, besides our motto being good enough, it was no cans. We do fresh every day, every side, everything is fresh. Yeah, it costs us more, but I'm able to look at my guests in the face when they're eating their food and see how they like it.
Yeah.
We don't even have a can opener. We threw a few away.
Yeah. The ones that we had were all broken, so we just trashed them, never replaced them. Don't need them.
Oh man, I love that. You know, it's so funny, Craig, 16 years of doing this. We've with Schedulefly, we've seen so many times where, because the company you work for, I won't mention the name, but I mean I know who it was, and you know they had like 80 locations on Schedulefly or something like that for a while. And then one day somebody made a decision, and boom, you know, everybody was kind of forced to move. But I've always tell people, like, they'll grow into Schedulefly, meaning that, you know, maybe they write their schedule on pencil and paper, Excel, and that just gets, you know, doesn't work anymore. So they grow into Schedulefly. But then like some places get so big that they outgrow us, meaning that what it really means is they become more corporate. It means that, you know, they get to a point where through growth, they bring in people that maybe were a part of a big chain or whatever. And then all these systems and everything get put in place, and everything is buttoned up and tight, and it becomes real corporate. And then folks like you, I was just talking to somebody the other day about this. I was like, you know, when a place gets corporate and they outgrow us, I never worry, because what's great is that people end up leaving. The people that were around for the early days when things were fun and loose and enjoyable and down home and authentic, they're like, man, I don't like this corporate stuff. And they leave, and then they go work for a place that, you know, only has one location, or like y'all, you know, they start their own place. And that's what's so great about independent restaurants, is that happens not just for my business, for Schedulefly. I just think for independent restaurants in general, it's, you know, the people that are good at running independent restaurants are never going to be happy in a corporate environment.
Well, Brian saw the changes. Brian was a regular at the last place we won't mention.
Yeah.
And
From day one.
he's an independent guy. We came up there to support him when he opened his place, obviously, because I love beer.
Yes.
And it's if you go to a fun environment, that's where you want to go. And the last place got so rigid and corporate, it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, and he could see it on the way that the staff was, even, and everything else, and every change. I mean, we could have kept Schedulefly, which I'd have loved to, but I had to pay for the other company as well that they made a switch to. And I disliked that company so much, I refused to make a schedule. I hated the user interface. I've used several. Y'all's is so simple. That's why when we got this going, we could have gone through one with our operating system. I'm trying real hard not to mention names and get in trouble.
Right.
We could have gone with one that does our POS system, but I was like, look, man, I've used these guys. I like them. It's simple. I know how to use them.
Yep. Pretty much Craig's like, hey, go do a schedule. I never got any training on it. I just sat down, opened up the program, and it was very intuitive. I mean, it was simple to use. So,
but you're also really smart.
Dude, I'm faking it.
It's on tape. NASA Supplier of the Year.
I mean, I'll thank you guys. That's really kind. I love you guys. That's very nice. I know who you're. I think I went through your website and saw the online. I know who your point of sale company is, and I won't mention them either. I'll say that thank you, because they don't treat us very well.
They don't treat us very well.
No. Once they get that check, see you.
Oh, they're awesome. And up until the day you sign that piece of paper, and then
Yeah. Well, okay. I got to ask about, how many beers did you say you have in your place?
The other place 650.
650.
Yeah. 650 different beers, 120 wines. We were a homebrew shop too, but we're getting out of that part of it. And I'm selling the business because this is so much fun.
Oh, good for you. Are you serious? You're selling it? Are you really selling it?
Yes. Yeah. So I have a great GM there, and he approached me and said, you know, I'd like to get brought in as ownership or something like that. You know, he's getting married and going to have a step kid who's like 7 or something like that. So he's ready to do some kind of a big boy job. And I was like, this is just a good time for me to, because I got like an 8-year plan to be retired. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but yeah. So it just seemed like a good opportunity. I had a person ready to buy, and it's fits within my time frame. So, and I got this crown jewel to work with.
That's me. He's talking about me.
Yes, this crown jewel right here.
I'll give a little plug. I've got a buddy who works at Monster Energy, and are y'all familiar with Monster's new alcohol beverage, the Beast Unleashed?
Oh yeah, they brought us a sample of that like the week before it came out. That's dangerous.
Dangerous because it tastes just like Monster.
It's dangerous. Yeah. All you need is me drunk and buzzed at the same time. That's trouble.
Well, it doesn't have caffeine in it.
Oh, it doesn't? So it's not. Yeah,
No.
I was wondering how they did that, because they made that illegal with the Four Loco debacle.
It does not have caffeine. It's got 6% alcohol, but it tastes just like a normal. I don't know how they did it. But I was curious because y'all are one of the states. They're only in like 5 or 6 states right now, and I knew Ohio. So I was curious if y'all.
No, I mean, not to toot Brian's own horn here, but this place had just kegerators, and we both love beer. Brian's like, I'll just build a beer cooler. And this son of a gun built the beer cooler. We got 12 drafts right now. We can go up to 16. And yeah, it just kind of happened where my focus has been in the kitchen right now, trying to get that straightened out. And we're finally there. And I've left poor Brian to all the front of the house junk. And I'm going to try and have to help him up there, because we all know the front of the house is, it's a mountain.
Yeah.
Between the bar and everything else. And we might switch. I'll switch you to the kitchen. You can want to smoke meat?
I'll sweep the driveway. Damn it.
Let's try to get out of that 6 a.m. thing.
How far? I don't know Ohio well enough. How far are y'all from Oxford, Ohio? Is that anywhere remotely close?
That's where Miami University is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from Miami.
Because that's about 2 hours from Columbus. So probably about 2.5 hour drive, I'd say.
Ooh, that's not that far. Okay, because I'm supposed to come. Okay, that's it, man. I got to make this happen. I got to get back on the trip. I'm supposed to come to Oxford this summer, and I got to figure out a way to work this in where I can come hang with y'all and eat some of your brisket, man. I'm like, my mouth's watering right now.
You're gonna have to get here early. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, don't wait till 8 o'clock.
It would really suck if you show up from North Carolina and we're out of brisket that day.
I'll come. When do y'all open? Like 11 or 12 in the morning?
11 a.m.
All right, I'll make sure I'm there at 11, man. I'll down some brisket. I'll stay and have 2 meals. I'll have lunch and dinner with y'all. I eat, this is all I eat is I eat meat 2 or 3 times a day, every day. So
I didn't until this. Well, that's all I do now. I got to taste it and make sure it's okay. Yeah. It's such a tough life we got here.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I feel somebody tasting meat and drinking, testing your beers at 10 o'clock in the morning. You guys have got it tough. I feel bad for you, but we're here to support you.
I appreciate it.
I got a question for you. All right.
Yeah.
When you hear barbecue, do you think yourself, I hope it's not too smoky?
No, I don't.
All right. But yeah.
But I mean, when I hear barbecue, honestly, I'm in North Carolina. So what I hear is, I mean, we think like I think of, is it Eastern North Carolina or Western North Carolina, which is, Eastern is more vinegar based and Western's tomato based and whatever. Like, and then my wife comes from Lexington, South Carolina, and they do this mustard based stuff down there, which I had never had until I met her. She's talking about mustard on barbecue. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And sure enough, it's pretty darn good. But yeah, so that's what I think of. Honestly, I don't ever think about how it's smoky. I'm just like, okay, is it Eastern or Western or whatever.
So is she a Gamecock or a Tigers fan?
She's a Gamecock for sure.
Okay, we got to end this now. We're not
done.
I went to Clemson, man. That's just not cool.
Well, I'm Clemson. I'm totally 100% Clemson fan. I get in a lot.
All right, we're back in. We're back in.
We're back.
She's not here right now, so I can say that loud in my house without her coming in. Like, she'd come in and yell at me if she heard that.
But looking over your shoulder.
Yeah,
I know. She's not here right now, but I'm like still worried. I'm like, that's how anxious I get. So I grew up as an NC State fan, but my mom's best childhood friend has been in Anderson, forever. And And we used to go to Clemson games back in like the 80s. I mean, we'd go down there and go to a couple games a year. And so that was sort of my adopted team. And then when I married into this family, and my wife and their whole crew is all Gamecocks. And so I just have to like, I
It helps
quietly,
you hate them.
hey, I have to say, that was, I guess it was, they got their due. They finally beat y'all this year. It's
We
been,
don't, that was in the, we don't talk about that.
you don't talk about that.
We
Yeah.
don't talk about that.
Listen, I love Dabo. I love what he's done there at Clemson. Great program. It's just amazing. And I'll be honest with you, dude, when he first started there and y'all were still in the like bring back Danny Ford phase, like every coach
Ugh.
was like, no, let's just bring back Danny Ford. And I remember when Dabo started there and I was like, this guy, he like got up in front of the athletic club and he's like, I know that a national championship that's it. Like, and it has to be that. I know that's what you expect here. And that's what we're going to bring. And I remember being like, freaking like Clemson's done. Like, it was an 80s team and whatever set. And they're not going to, hey, I was so glad I was wrong because the way he built that program is awesome. And it's been wonderful to see. I hope he can keep it going.
Well, the only reason I got in is because my dad was on the board of directors for 25 years. I'm an idiot. Clearly, I'm in restaurants, so I'm stupid. So I only got in because of my dad, and there was a lot of stuff. Danny Ford's a nice guy, did a lot of good things, but yeah, the board wasn't going to let that happen.
Absolutely. No, they weren't. I just remember I was like, they still keep talking about bringing back Danny Ford, bring back that.
Yeah.
No, but Dabo's done a great job. Well, that's really cool. Do you ever get back down there?
I used to go quite a bit before my dad passed. We go down to games and stuff, but since that time, it's just like, I would like to, but I just don't know, and plus now we just opened a new restaurant.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the fall I can make it. Cause Brian and I would just get on our motorcycles a couple times a year and just go south, and we had no plan. We don't plan anything.
We don't plan anything, no.
And it works out.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually stopped a serial
Works
killer
out.
once, but that's a whole different story for a different podcast. But
Oh,
yeah,
wait,
we saved the woman's life.
Did you really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
In our
Serial
minds,
killer.
yeah, this guy had to be a murderer. He was sketchy.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere, Tennessee, man. I'm telling you.
Creeping around in her tack shop.
Her name is Dolores. We saved her life.
I love it. I love it. We'll get the true crime podcast going next if I can.
That'd be a good one.
That would be a good one.
Well,
Keep us in mind.
You guys are freaking hilarious. I love that. I love your style, guys. It's so refreshing. It's so fun to just you're letting, your experience, your balanced skill sets between each other and just serendipity and love for what you do.
Look at you. Stop using big words. Tell me what that means later.
Come on, man. Well, you guys know exactly what that means, and y'all benefited from a lot of that. I know. So, I appreciate y'all doing this. I appreciate your business. Craig, you've been using Schedulefly for a long time. Thank you so much, Brian. So good to meet you. Congrats on selling your other business, and good luck with this. And seriously, guys, I'm supposed to work on a trip. It'll be sometime this summer, probably late summer, but I've got to come up to Oxford. And if you're 2.5 hours away, I'm going to make it happen. So,
yeah, man, you've got my email. Shoot me an email. I'll give you my number. We'll connect. If you play golf, we'll go play golf.
hell yeah, man. Really?
Oh yeah,
For sure.
I won't.
Absolutely.
Craig doesn't let me golf with him. I'm
He-
terrible.
He's the designated drinker.
1,800 yard long bar as far as I'm concerned.
You guys are great. This has been so much fun, y'all. I really appreciate it. Tell your team hello and thank y'all. And you know where I am if you ever need anything.
Cool. Appreciate you. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care.